A very warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you join us again on Almond Finance and Wealth Reports this week. As you know, we are source for latest happening information in the financial sector of the nation's economy. My name is Faith Wode. On this edition of the program, we'll bring you highlights of the 2014 International Education Conference and Exhibition of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, CIIN, that took place recently at the Federal Palace Hotel, Victoria Island here in Lagos. The theme of the conference this year was redimensioning the insurance industry contributions to the national economy. The guest speaker was Mr. Kola Ayeye, Executive Director of Main Street Bank. Speaking during his presentation, Mr. Ayeye stated that growing insurance business in an economy such as ours, where 60% of the population lives below the poverty line, requires strategic thinkers in the industry. The climax of the 2014 International Education Conference of the CIIN was the investiture of Mr. Oyebola Temowo as the 46th President and Chairman of Council of the Institute. These and more are what we have for you on the lineup this week, so I urge you as always to sit back, relax and enjoy it. But all the details are coming to you in just a moment. Please stay with us.
The Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, CIIN, like most institutes, is charged with the general duty of determining the standards of knowledge and skills to be attained by persons seeking to become registered members of the insurance profession in Nigeria. One of the fundamental objectives of the institute is that of organizing conferences, workshops, seminars, and courses on insurance and other related subjects. Encouraging and assisting insurance professionals to regularly update their knowledge in order to respond positively to changes in the business environment. In line with its objectives, the Institute has continued through its international conference to provide a platform for intellectual discussions on the ever-changing business environment. The 2014 edition of the CIIN Education Conference was held recently at the Federal Palace Hotel, Lagos. The theme was Redimensioning the Insurance Industry Contributions to the National Economy. In attendance were Sir Ogala Osoka, Alhaji Mohammed Kari, Deputy Commissioner for Insurance Technical, Mr. Sonny Adeda, Mr. Adeyemo Adejumo, and a host of others. Welcoming delegates to the conference, the immediate past president of the CIIN, Mr. Fatai Kayode Lawal, said that much is expected from the insurance industry, especially now that the country is facing unprecedented security challenges.
The country at this time expects so much from our expertise, especially in the face of the most challenging and unprecedented situations threatening the security of lives and property in our country. Let me welcome our team of endowed speakers, whom we have taken off their very busy schedule to share their experiences with us. We are privileged to have in our midst, and I hope very soon, a respected past president of the Institute, Sir Ogala Osoka, who, as you know, is the current chairman of Enterprise Bank. Sir Osoka will share the roundtable session to discuss the team paper to be delivered by Mr. Kola Ayeye. I must also welcome specially Professor Shola Fagana, the Vice Chancellor of Joseph Babalola University, who I expect to be here shortly, for his humility and love in sharing knowledge in the most outstanding manner.
Delivering the theme paper, the guest speaker, Mr. Kola Ayeye, Executive Director, Main Street Bank, said that growing the insurance business in an economy such as ours needs strategic thinkers.
Insurance is more positively correlated with individuals' well-being than to general growth rates. So growing the insurance business in an economy like this, where poverty rates is more than 60%, where there is high poverty intensity, growing the insurance business requires great strategic thinkers and excellent executors, such as those I'm looking at today. It is thus important for the sector to address the question, how can we achieve substantial growth within this current scenario? I take us back to, when we are looking at those big GDP figures, from an insurance point of view, it is the per capita that is even more important. And not just even though it's the per capita, weighted with factors like the Gini coefficient and the inequality and the distribution of the income. So even though we are big, much bigger than South Africa, but on a per capita basis, because of our population, we're just about 30%. And look at my Botswana there, $14,750. So the key strategic question for the insurance industry is, since we know that the structure of this economy needs to change for it to benefit us, are we going to be beneficiaries of economic growth? Are we going to be both catalysts / engineers of economic growth and also beneficiaries?
It is no longer news that insurance penetration is less than 1%. For the industry to make meaningful contributions to the nation's gross domestic product, the industry must reevaluate their business models. Delivering the sub-theme paper entitled Paradigm Shifts in Insurance Education for Greater Relevance, Dr. Tope Oni, who stood in for Professor Shola Fajano, Vice Chancellor, Joseph Ayo Babalola University, stated that paradigm shifts in the insurance industry must start with education.
I consider the theme chosen for this year's educational conference, Redimensioning the Insurance Industry's Contributions to the National Economy, to be both apposite and profound. We have also rightly perceived that this redimensioning will require that we undertake a paradigm shift in insurance education for greater relevance. In the last over 1 hour that I've been sitting down there, everybody has been talking of paradigm shift, paradigm shift, paradigm shift. Our growing strength, our challenges. We have conferred each year to critically examine our strategic positioning in the Nigerian economy, reviewing the challenges that confront the industry and mapping the way forward. For instance, in last year's conference, we chose to undertake an overview of the insurance sector in 2013, which provided an opportunity to look at the challenges confronting the industry and how to address them. We are no doubt encouraged that significant steps forward have been taken in the industry in the last 7 years, which have boosted its performance to some extent. From consolidation to recapitalization to rationalization and the legislative empowerment undertaken to broaden insurance covers that are obligatory for all. The insurance organizations that survived the consolidation process have grown bigger and stronger. Many have undertaken organizational restructuring for strategic repositioning, market penetration, and for staying ahead of competition.
The open forum at the conference this year was chaired by Sir Ogala Osoka, MFR Chairman, Enterprise Bank. Discussants panel were Barrister Tola Adegbayi, Mr. Tunji Oluyemi, Dr. Biodun Adedipe, and Mrs. Yetunde Ilori. In his presentation, Dr. Adedipe said that the insurance industry must first identify if policy or practice is their major challenge.
If any industry will grow, especially service industry, and let me also allude to the remark made earlier on, that whenever an economy is evolving, and that's the typical pattern globally, services always grow in terms of their contribution to the economy, more than manufacturing and more than other industries as well. So what we have seen in Nigeria, rebased GDP, is not an aberration. It's the typical pattern globally. But the idea is that service provides support to industry. So if that is the case, the question is, how are we positioned in the insurance industry? Which ones are the growth sectors, number one? Secondly, which ones are the dominant sectors of the economy? So now, equally, we ask ourselves the question of, is it policy that is the problem, or practice that is the problem, or both? And I think we can take issues from both sides. Or should we even look beyond policy and begin to think about enforcement? Which is to me, are there policies in place that are not enforced? So now, or should we even recognize that there's a disconnect between our practice of insurance and the critical mass whose needs can leverage the business? Now, I differ a little from, the argument made earlier on about the purchase of insurance cover as to whether it is driven by income levels, and I don't think so. Because the question I put down here in the copy of the paper I have is it income driven or need driven? Because if you focus on it being income driven, then you will neglect a large percentage of Nigerians who we know today are below the poverty line or living just around that. So the question is, what kind of products can we create that will meet the need of the so-called poor?
Summing up the session, the chairman, Sir Osoka, stated that the problem of the industry is that of reputation.
The problem of the industry, before we discuss, is reputation. How do people see you? Insurance. So how do people see you? The reputation risk for insurance is very, very high. People see you and people who don't pay claims. That's the only thing to remember. And yet you pay more claims than you disallow the claims. So the industry has been stated in the paper, will have a lot of work to do. But at the bottom line is, what are your mates doing outside Nigeria? How is it that in Morocco, in Ghana, in Cameroon, just here, there's more life business, and it's not directly proportionate to the amount of money you have in your pocket. It's a habit. Savings is not related directly, proportionately to the amount of money in your pocket. It has to relate to your own mental attitude to it. So there's a lot of potential for us, as Madam stated. If you look at people without shoes, you may decide that you won't do business with them or you create the shoes. So I think they have summarized it well. The panelists have made a number of points. I don't want to repeat those points. What I will just do now is have an open forum where people can also make some comments. A lot of issues have been touched there. The numbers are very clear that we are not meeting the economic requirements. I think we should concentrate more on having known where we're coming from, what role should we actually play, what are the strategic areas of preference, what are we going to be looking at, the regulatory aspect, the way to create new values, constructive values. Why do you call it policies? What is the meaning of comprehensive? Are you not deceiving the man on the road to say it's comprehensive when you know it's not comprehensive?
Given the soundness of the papers presented, delegates had serious questions for the speakers and panel discussants.
I have interacted with so many young people. Their level of knowledge of the business they do is very narrow. And this is a fallout of the startup point. So the challenge I want to throw is to the companies, whether broker, underwriter, whatever you are in this business, whoever you employ, try and take him through at least a minimum technical basic knowledge of what the industry is all about. And then when it starts going out, it's not likely to differ too much. And then to sustain this kind of process, every insurance company should at least be mandated to have a training, an effective training department. If you cannot have a full-fledged training department, there's no bank today in this country that does not have 2 or 3 or 4 locations specifically for training their personnel. That we don't have in the insurance industry. So I want to appeal to NIA through the machinery of the management or the council to try and re-establish. In those days, we had the benefit of NICON Nigeria Retraining School, Nigeria Insurance Training School, Leadway Training School, but today, even those who are into training as a business do not have students to train. And people see training as a favor. Okay, let me do you a favor. I send you on one course. Whether the man needs the course, he doesn't need the course, you send him as a way of being a good boss. So I want to appeal. I don't know if it's going to be practicable, but there must be a way in which the regulator will have to look into this area, because that is the beginning, and it is from the beginning you grow, so that by the time you are growing, you actually know exactly what is at stake about this business.
It's often said that pension has been taken from insurance, but I know that annuity is still with underwriters. And from the data released by PenCom not too long, it was observed that insurance is just taking paltry sum of 10% of that market. I want to know what we are going to take out from this place concerning annuity business, because that is the underwriters, the life insurance, it's as if they are just concluded that the business has been taken totally from the insurance sector. And the second question I want to ask is, how can we redimension the insurance industry when we don't have data to show what we are doing? I want us to look at it that even if the nation is rebased tomorrow, if we don't have enough data to show that we are working, the industry contribution will still be lowered. What are we going to do to ensure that at a press of a button, somebody knows the numbers of policyholders in Nigeria?
The 2014 Education Conference with the theme Redimensioning the Insurance Industry Contributions to the National Economy climaxed with the investiture of Mr. Oyebola Temowo as the 46th President and Chairman of Council of the CIIN. Welcoming guests to the investiture ceremony, the chairman of the occasion, Chief Segun Oshunkeye, stated that a strong and competitive insurance industry is key to Nigeria's economic growth and development.
The insurance sector is a very important sector of the economy of our country because it promotes economic development through various channels, such as insurance reduces the capital firms need to operate. Insurance fosters investment and innovation by creating an environment of greater certainty. Insurance industry can be solid partners for social protection, particularly in the field of retirement and health benefits, health provision. As institutional investors, insurers contribute to the modernization of financial markets and facilitate firms' access to capital. Importantly, insurance improves companies' awareness of risk management and influences investment decisions. Therefore, the insurance sector represents the backbone of Nigeria's risk management system, ensures financial security, serves as an important component in the financial intermediation chain, and offers a ready source of long-term capital for the infrastructure projects, mitigates the impact of risk, and positively correlates to growth as entrepreneurs cover their exposures. Otherwise, risk-taking abilities will be hampered. Thus, a strong and competitive insurance industry is a compelling imperative for Nigeria's economic development and growth. Insurance business stimulates entrepreneurs to invest, expand, and diversify their various businesses. By so doing, they are contributing to the overall industrial, commercial, and economic development of the nation. Mr. President, the Chartered Insurance Institute needs to encourage its members if all these benefits are to be realized, and their organizations also to be encouraged to promote excellence and confidence in the sector by practicing sound corporate governance and best practice, starting with the observance of the Code of Corporate Governance issued by NICOM.
Mr. Temowo's journey to the Institute's presidency was paved by a consistent and committed membership of the Institute in various capacities where he served meritoriously. Interestingly, Mr. Temowo is the first loss adjuster to occupy the office of the presidency of the Institute. With joy and admiration, friends and well-wishers witnessed the investiture of Mr. Temowo as the 46th President and Chairman of Council.
To remove the insignia of office and pass it on to the succeeding president, Mr. Bola Temowo. He's doing that in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. May you last long. Thank you, congratulations.
With the investiture over, the immediate past president, Mr. F.K. Lawal, gave stewardship of his one-year tenure during his valedictory speech. In his acceptance speech, Mr. Temowo said that he would ensure a succession culture at the Institute Secretariat during his tenure.
We will entrench the culture of succession planning at the Secretariat, and the DG will spearhead this. Distinguished guests, professional colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, our country is witnessing the worst cases of insecurity and the abuse of human integrity. This is not only worrisome, but also beckons on all true and loyal citizens to rally around the leadership in finding lasting solutions to myriads of the problems which confront us as a nation. Permit me to just join my voice to those who have been clamoring for those who are presently holding on to the Chibok girls. I join my voice to them in appealing to them to please let girls come home safely. As an industry, we are immensely challenged by the emerging risk factors, most of which are alien to our culture and existence. Now, therefore, is the most crucial time for the re-examination of our expertise as risk managers to pool our knowledge in providing new insurance packages for the benefit of the vulnerable population of today. This is also the time to re-examine our individual and collective corporate social responsibility to our immediate communities, which daily face adverse environmental hazards.
Mr. Temowo's insurance professional career started in 1982 when the young Bola was posted to Hog Robinson, Nigeria for his National Youth Service. Mr. Bola Temowo's watchword has remained professional integrity. Many are of high hopes that Mr. Temowo's tenure will open a new chapter in the history of the insurance industry in Nigeria.
Alright, that's the time on this edition of the program. I do hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I always say here, for comments, questions, observations, do feel free to get in touch with us on 017763981 or 08033357879, or better still, send us an email, almond4xx@yahoo.com or almondproduction@gmail.com. You can also visit us on our website, www.almondreports.com. Do not forget also to like us on our Facebook page, Almond Finance and Wealth Wealth Reports. You can also view past episodes of this program on our YouTube channel, Almond Reports TV. Do not forget also to keep a date with us every Wednesday by 9:45 a.m. live on Niger FM 102.7 for our Pidgin English program called Waiting Insurance They Do Serve. Until same time, same station next week, when we come your way with a fresh package of this program, all of us at Almond Production wish Mr. Oyebola Temawo a very successful tenure as the 46th President and Chairman of Council of the CIIN.